How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another video. And no, this is not clickbait. What you see in my hands is a $10,000 camera setup. So let's go over it, the reason why I got it, and more importantly, let's go over some of that sexy B-roll. Now to start from square one. Oh wow, that is really small. So this little adorable cube that you see here is the Sony FX6 Cinema camera. This thing by itself is actually quite small and really light due to its magnesium body, only coming in at about 1.9 pounds. The camera itself can almost fit in one regular sized hand. And while it's not necessarily the sexiest thing by itself, it's its adaptability that allows it to become such an incredible cinema camera, as you will see here as we are going to build it up. First, we have to make sure that we start things off on the right foot. And by that I mean we need to get the mounting started so that way we can have a solid foundation for the camera to lay flat on the ground or on a tripod whenever we need so. So first I'm going to be attaching the Smallrig universal quick release plate. I like that it's relatively simple and pretty small, so it gets out of the way when I'm hand holding it. I'll also be using the Smallrig multi-tool, but it's a little bit loose on one side, so I'll also be using some Allen key wrenches. And here we have the actual quick release plate itself, which we are going to be attaching to the Manfrotto style tripod plate. I figure it's easier to connect it directly there, so that way I can be able to pop it on and off the tripod as needed. Giving it a quick test, you can be able to see that all you have to do is just pop it on top, close the lever, and now it is firm and solid. Just like that, we now have a stable base to build everything else on. The next two pieces I'm going to be attaching belong to the Tilita FX6 cage set. Now originally I did plan on getting just the battery plate, but because of the fact that it was almost half the price of the entire set, I just decided to spring for it. So this includes the top plate, also known as a cheese plate, which will give us a couple of extra mounting points for any additional camera accessories in the future, like larger monitors, magic arms, monitoring systems, or wireless systems. Up next is the Tilita battery plate, which replicates a dummy Sony BPU battery. While it's not necessarily functional, you still have the DC cable that connects directly into the Sony in order for you to use it. I think it makes it look really nice because of the fact that it, rather than being a 15mm V-mount plate, that's dissociated away from the rest of the camera. So it makes it look nicer in my opinion. Up next, I'll be attaching the included Sony FX6 hand grip. In my opinion, this is probably the best hand grip you can get for the FX6 and one of the best hand grips you can get for any cinema camera, as it's free, gives you the ability to record as well as additional buttons, and you can use the rockers for either Sony power zoom lenses or what I use it for, optical zoom. Now up next, I'll be attaching the included Sony XLR top handle, which is an absolute must if you want any kind of audio coming from your FX6, which isn't from the little scratch mic that's attached to the body. really think Sony should have at least attempted to give some type of input on the body, even if it's just a 3.5mm jack, but better to have it than to have nothing, I guess. Quick shake test, because if you can't shake your rig around, chances are it's not secure enough. Now on to some of the juicier items. I'm going to be attaching the Sony 50mm 1.2G master lens, as this lens is hands down the best full frame lens that Sony has ever made. At f1.2, the autofocus is unbelievable, toss-in, focus breathing compensation, and it is out of this world as far as sharpness and bokeh. Now to help balance out the rig, I'm also going to be attaching the V-mount battery. This is the Andes Cine 95S Nano V-mount battery. I like it as it has a couple of D-tap ports as well as USB-A and USB-C. I also enjoy its small size but rather chunky body, which helps to fill out and give a better look to the camera rig. Up next for audio, I'm going to be using the Sennheiser MKE 600 microphone with Dead Cat. This is hands down my favorite microphone that I have, and I just love how simplistic and easy it is. You attach it via the XLR handle and boom, you have a shotgun microphone for run and gun documentary shooting, or if you need to get a little bit closer for an interview, you can put it on a pole with an extension cable and you're good to go. Mostly for aesthetic purposes, I'm also going to be attaching the Smallrig mini matte box, as I want my rig to remain nice and light and we're not planning on using any 15mm rods. I think that a larger matte box would kind of give away from the look of the rig, as well as just the fact that it's not really functionally needed given the fact that we have built-in variable ND filters. But nonetheless, I think it looks rather nice, and I've already had it from a previous camera rig, so why not? Now I'll be attaching the Sony monitor that came along with the FX6 package. That way I can be able to have access to, well, my menu system, as that is the only way that you can have access to changing anything in your menus. I'll also be putting on the little sun hood that they give, which is probably one of the flimsiest things I've ever used in my life, but nonetheless, it saves me maybe about $5 or so getting an actual sun hood or DIYing it, so flimsy's better than nothing, I guess. Now I'll be attaching the Smallrig magic arm. And last but not least, I will be adding the Atmos Shinobi 5-inch HDR monitor. I love how light it is, and I love all the functionality that you get with the monitor without having to pay the additional price for recording that you would if you got the Atmos Shinobi. Plus, with this rig, I think 5 inches is the perfect size. And just like that, we have ourselves the completed 10K rig. Now, of course, this isn't for everyone, and for some, myself included, this might be considered complete overkill. But that's okay, because I wanted a rig that I would grow into and can last almost as long as I will. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy and have a great rest of your day.